Hello people, this is Charlie from All Things Health. Please do subscribe to my YouTube channel and leave a loving comment below. Enjoy the video. So, you're wanting to lose some fat, you're wanting to go down a dress size, you're wanting to get that summer bod, or whatever it may be. All we know is you're trying to lose some fat, okay? But you're not a fan of having to think about what you eat or having to consume any crazy concoctions that annoying people like me promote. So I've got good news for you. We can lose fat without changing what you eat. This is providing, of course, that you don't have a diet that contains excessive amounts of traditionally unhealthy foods such as sweets, sugary items, pizza, etc. As long as you have a fairly normal, quote-unquote, healthy diet, then that is fine. You can lose weight without changing that diet that you've been eating for the past couple of years. But what we do need to change is when you eat. So we're not going to change what you eat, we're going to change when you eat, okay? And we're going to do this using a method called intermittent fasting, okay? So we're always intermittently fasting, of course. We fast when we go to bed. That's why breakfast is called breakfast. It's called break fast. But what we're going to do with our intermittent fasting diet is we're going to extend the amount of fasting within our day. So say we'd normally have breakfast at 7 in the morning and we'd normally eat dinner at 8 at night. This means we're eating in a 13-hour period of the day and we're fasting in an 11-hour period of the day. Okay, so we want to extend the period in which we're fasting and decrease the period in which we're feeding. Okay, so instead of having 13 hours of the day of us feeding, we're going to have 8 hours of the day of us feeding and 16 hours of the day of us fasting. Now, this is a lot harder than it sounds, but how does this actually work? First and foremost, it decreases the likelihood of us overeating, okay? So, you may have experienced those cravings late at night where you suddenly require chocolate in your life. But when it comes to an intermittent fasting diet, we no longer have these cravings because our body becomes used to eating in this smaller time period, therefore making dieting far easier. Now, secondly, intermittent fasting creates the ideal hormonal environment for fat loss. Now, it does this by decreasing many storage hormones because we release storage hormones such as insulin when we eat. Okay, so it decreases those storage hormones, those fat storage hormones, and it also increases a hormone called growth hormone. Now, growth hormone is a vital component in the fat loss process, okay? So by increasing growth hormone and decreasing those storage hormones, we have the ideal hormonal environment for fat loss. So how are we going to go about this intermittent fasting? How are we going to make it not as hard as it sounds? All we're going to do, okay, so say we normally eat breakfast at 7, and we normally eat dinner at 8, okay? So we're going to eat dinner at 6, the earliest time we can eat it, and then we're going to have our breakfast at 11, okay? At 11. Now, this means we're only eating for a 7-hour period of the day, but during that period, we can eat as we normally would, okay? We can have our normal breakfast, have our normal lunch, maybe a bit later, seeing as we've recently had breakfast. We have our lunch at 2 o'clock, and then we have our dinner, our family meal at 6 p.m. And that's absolutely fine, okay? We eat as we normally would, but we just eat in a smaller period of the day. No snacking after dinner, by the way. No snacking pre-breakfast either. Make sure we're fasting during the period between dinner and breakfast, okay? So that's not that hard. That is highly achievable. So I would suggest you give it a try and hopefully you see lots of results. Many people worldwide have started taking up this intermittent fasting diet and are seeing great results. So hopefully you can too, okay? Thank you for watching. Adios.